is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 11:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, March 7th. Your top story, what happened with missing ballots in Madison?
I'm Jessica Ty. Could Russia also get sanctions?
Now, some flurries flying around downtown Milwaukee. Areas to the north going to stay a little bit more on the dry side. A high of 37 today. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 23. It's 34 light snow falling in Milwaukee at 11:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, happening now, the Wisconsin Elections Commission considering further action regarding nearly 200 absentee ballots that went uncounted in Madison during the 2024 general election. Commission Attorney Angela O'Brien Sharp.
It seems as if the Madison Clerk's Office did not have policies in place that would enable either the Municipal Board of Canvassers or the County Board of Canvassers to be prompted to check to see if election officials had missed something or had overlooked absentee ballots.
The discussion comes one day after the firm Law Forward filed a lawsuit against the city and Dane County on behalf of a group of unidentified voters. An independent review earlier this year found there was no impact to the outcome of any election.
A new effort to end the war in Ukraine announced by the White House. Following his recent criticism of Ukraine, President Trump now says he's considering sanction and tariff actions against Russia until a ceasefire and peace agreement is reached. ABC's Karen Travers reports from the White House.
Russia is one of the most sanctioned countries around the world. The Biden administration has put sanctions on Russia over the last 3 years because of the war in Ukraine. So it's not clear what they could actually do in terms of increasing sanctions or what tariffs they could do because of the low imports that the United States does with Russia.
President Trump also paused military aid and intelligence sharing to Ukraine to pressure Kiev to accept a ceasefire deal after an explosive Oval Office meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky 1 week ago.
With tariffs set to be imposed on Canada and Mexico, many construction contractors are not looking forward to high prices on materials vital to making homes and buildings. Chris Coriel with Coriel Construction tells WTMJ how tariffs will impact projects for housing and warehouses.
So the contractor's working in a reasonable margin, and then all of a sudden the material price goes up 4 to 8%, and that can't be passed on to the end user because of a contracted amount. That decreases the margins. So it's putting contractors in a pretty tough spot.
Coriel says he has no idea how long the tariffs will be imposed, but plans to brace for lumber, steel, and aluminum to all become more expensive.
Placed on academic leave for restraining a student. The Oshkosh School District is looking into an incident that took place at a middle school in January. NBC 26's Claire Peterson reports.
In OPD body camera footage, the student resource officer and dean of students, Christopher Willems, pushed the student towards an exit door. The student refuses to leave, asking for his belongings, and tells the officer not to touch him. The footage then shows Willems pushing the student up against the wall before the SRO handcuffs him and pushes him to the ground. The student is on the floor for more than 4 minutes before other officers arrive.
Oshkosh police say that student was arrested due to the person threatening a police officer. They say they have not investigated the SRO related to the incident.
In Milwaukee, surpassing expectations, the Milwaukee 2% sales tax brought in $200 million for the city. City Comptroller Bill Christensen says he expected the first year the sales tax to generate about $184 million. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports the tax went $16.5 million over the target goal. Christensen says events like the RNC and the Harley-Davidson Homecoming Festival brought in a large influx of cash to the local economy. Speaking about your money, time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is currently down about 232 points, trading at 42,347. NASDAQ down about 200 today, looking for a rally. Now under the 18,000 mark at 17,848. And the S&P 500 also off today about 50 at 56.88. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Up next, a bright spot for the Brewers. Sports, traffic, and weather right after this. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:05.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Millions of inventory must be sold. Prices are slashed up to 60% off retail, so save thousands. Save big on new hot tubs, spas, and saunas. Also cold tubs. Plus, see the Michael Phelps Signature Swim Spas by Master Spas.
Hi, I'm Michael Phelps. Join the swimming revolution.
The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show this weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Visit 800spasale.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I need information about siding, I call Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
I'm Scott Klein. If you're tired of painting or your siding is beyond repair, it may be time to look at the advantages of a new siding system. Additional insulation, along with Tyvek's weatherization system, can significantly improve your home's energy efficiency while protecting it from water and air infiltration. We offer a variety of siding products, all installed by J&B's certified employees, which will provide decades of performance and beauty.
For a complimentary siding evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers and Padres meet up today in Cactus League action. A bright spot for the Brewers so far, reliever Craig Yoho.
Prospects from the bullpen never get as much pub as those who are starters, but Craig Yoho is certainly turning heads to this point in camp. On Thursday, the righty went 2 innings with 4 strikeouts. In 5 total frames this spring, he's got 9 Ks. Manager Pat Murphy.
You got to take a look at it. You got to look at it seriously. I mean, devastating changeup. There was enough strikes. I think he's got also a great future.
One factor working against Yoho to making the roster, he's not on the 40-man, meaning a corresponding move would need to be made. From Hohokam Stadium in Mesa, I'm Dominic Cotroneo.
Our next broadcast scheduled for Saturday afternoon at 2. College basketball. The regular season wraps up for 20th ranked Marquette Saturday morning. It's a home game against 6th-ranked St. John's, an 11 o'clock tip. Hear it on 94.5 ESPN. 12th-ranked Wisconsin takes on Penn State Saturday at noon at the Kohl Center. Badger Sports Update, sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. We do have one incident out in Waukesha County. It's on the exit to County P from I-94 West. Must have been a crash, I'm guessing, though they're not calling it a crash. This happened a while ago, started at 9:30, but I do see there's an emergency responder out there still, and also a tow truck. So I'm hoping that this gets cleared in the next 10 minutes or so. Just a heads up, though, it is wet out there. It is foggy in some cases, and it is snowy in others. Plan ahead before you walk out the door and jump in the car.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Well, flurries are flying here in downtown Milwaukee. It's going to remain a thing. No accumulation, really, at least not in the downtown area. You might see a little bit more near the state line, slushy kind of stuff if you're driving around later today. High of 37 degrees, cloudy tonight, a low of 23. We warm up on Saturday, high of 45. Nice warm up on Sunday, mostly sunny and mild, a high of 52. Monday, mostly sunny, mild, a high of 58. Tuesday's high, 55. Nice stretch coming up here once we get to the weekend. It is a little chilly outside, 33 degrees, and flurries are flying in Milwaukee at 11:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Yeah, flurries are flying, right? A kind of a wintry sort of day. We've got a little bit of a reprieve here on the horizon. Once we introduce 50s, I prefer we stay there. We'll get a complete idea of the forecast and what it will look like with Brendan Johnson coming up in about 15 minutes. He didn't say go ahead and run the gas out of the snowblower yet the last time we checked in with him. So
Nope.
Who
You
knows?
never know. It's Wisconsin.
But
It's not only Friday, and we've got flurries flying, but it's Fish Fry Friday.
it is Fish Fry Friday, a proclamation. It is a statewide thing. Is there a place you like to go to get your fish fry, by the way?
Ooh, there are so many of them. We have one of the most popular ones. We're going to be featuring that one today, Kegel's Inn out in West Allis. I do love that one. I love it for the food, but also, and you'll find out about this, the history. There is so much history there.
If Julian Kegel is listening right now, maybe on his way to our studios, just go ahead and bring in a 3-piece of the battered cod. And,
jeez.
Well, let's get this off and running,
I know,
shall
Greg's
we?
like, is he bringing in fish? I'm like,
Please?
I don't.
It might stink up the
I did not
studio.
ask for fish, and yeah, it would stink up the studio.
Maybe some
but you know
lemon?
what? You would still eat it, wouldn't you?
I definitely would. It's 11:11. Make a wish here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, work is moving forward today on a plan to release Slenderman stabber Morgan Geyser. Last night, a judge determined her release should be allowed to continue. The state recently petitioned to revoke Geyser's release after learning about a book she was reading that had themes of sex and murder and violent communication she had with a man outside of the facility. But the 3 doctors who evaluated Geyser earlier this year testified that Geyser is well enough to be released, and they said that those new findings do not change their opinion. Geyser was just 12 years old when she and another girl lured their friend into the woods in Waukesha and stabbed her 19 times. That victim shockingly survived. Geyser has spent nearly a third of her life in the mental health facility. State Department of Health Services now has 11 days to submit Geyser's release plan to the court.
Number 2, disturbing story out of Racine County. Reed Dolinsky is back in court today. 15-year-old being charged with first-degree intentional homicide in the death of his mother on March 4th. Racine County District Attorney Patricia Hansen.
This was an extremely violent but planned offense. His original plan was not just for the one victim, but for 2.
We've got the criminal complaint here at WTMJ, and it's deeply disturbing. Reed is 15 years old. He's being tried as an adult. Said he developed the plan to kill both of his parents after watching the Menendez brothers documentary on Netflix. The only thing that kept him from killing his father is that he couldn't find a hammer big enough, according to the criminal complaint. Dolinsky admits to have taken up to 9 anxiety pills that day. Ultimately, he threw his mother to the ground as she was walking down the stairs, grabbed a kitchen knife that was concealed, and began stabbing his mother in the chest and neck. He also had a Snapchat photo that was retrieved by a Caledonia police officer who ended up meeting Dolinsky at the home. And Dolinsky came out saying, "I did it. It's done." He was bloodied. She was bloodied. He's being held on $1 million bond. He will be allowed supervised contact with his father, whom he had plotted to kill, through the juvenile detention center.
One of the other disturbing parts about that criminal complaint is the mother apparently said why at one moment to him.
Yes, as they were wrestling on the floor.
Yes, and he said pain is how he responded. Number 3, the world's second largest financial exchange wants to offer trading around the clock 24 hours a day in the second half of 2026.
Money never sleeps, and it won't have a chance to rest if the NASDAQ goes forward to implementing 24-hour trading 5 days a week. The major New York exchange says it's taking steps towards that goal because of more international investment. In a letter, NASDAQ's president said this move does require careful and deliberate planning and notes that corporate issuers, the large companies selling shares of stock, have been more hesitant about that plan. Brian Clark, ABC News.
I think it's fascinating because you think you got a lot of busy people out there. If you're going to check out your stocks after work, well, you can't do anything about it. I mean, you can put in an order to sell or buy the next day, but you don't know how exactly the markets are going to open in the morning. But if it was 24/7, you'd know what was happening at all
Action
times.
is fast and furious, right? We'd have to give those reports throughout the night here on WTMJ, right? Absolutely.
And the report right now, everything in the red, including NASDAQ.
Scammers beware. ABC's Jim Ryan following the latest scam that I did not fall victim to, but I've certainly seen it. Have you? We'll explain after this.
Whatever you want to call this season, we're over it. Time to look forward to
fly ball, right field. It is deep. It is gone!
spring training is finally here and back on the radio.
Back again and gone again for Hoskins.
Make sure to catch our next spring training broadcast as the Brewers take on the Angels Saturday at 2. No matter the season, we are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here reminding you, do not let that busted garage door get you down. If you have an issue, really any issue, big or small, give a call to Geist. I had an issue with the weather stripping that goes around our garage door. It's just starting to come loose after about 8 years. Geist came out. They helped get a new one installed. Very simple project for them, but something I needed someone else to do. Geist was able to do it. They've got brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock, doors for every budget. They even have a custom design center. If you've got a custom project, they've got a custom solution. Swift and reliable garage repair solutions is available for you at Geist. Just visit geistdoors.com. Learn about all the ways it can help you out. You can also visit that showroom. It's in Brookfield. I've been there. Very cool place. I did not realize how big it was and how many doors and openers they had in stock ready to go. Talk about a quick turnaround for your project. It's Geist. Visit geistdoors.com and don't think twice. Call Geist.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Jean Nemovitz from Bruce's team. The thought of selling your home can feel overwhelming. I often tell our clients, for you, this is like holding your breath, but for us, it's like breathing. Let us guide you through the home selling process with kindness, patience, and genuine care for your well-being. Let us take you from overwhelmed to I can do this. Call us today at 262-242-6177 or visit brucesteam.com.
So I don't spend a lot of time on Facebook Marketplace, but sometimes things sort of cross my feed when I'm scrolling through social media. Jessica, I don't know if you've seen this before, but we've got a subdivision page, right? People who live in our subdivision will comment on things, and it's very common for somebody to sell something that they're no longer using, a baby stroller, something along that line.
Sure.
Well, recently, a neighbor of ours posted that their 2020 Toyota Camry was for sale. They no longer needed it. They were looking to upgrade. And what caught my attention, and I thought to be peculiar, is that they did not own a 2020 Toyota Camry. Right? But
something's off.
This hit a very specific group on Facebook, not specifically Facebook Marketplace. Recently, our market manager and vice president, Greg Scalzo, was selling a vehicle because somebody in his family had passed away. And the next message out from Greg was, hey, I've been hacked on Facebook. Don't reply to anything. So this is happening, and they're getting into the places where you'd think they maybe wouldn't be able to get into. ABC's Jim Ryan is covering the story, and this is widespread, Jim. This is nationwide.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This one knows no state lines or boundaries. And it very often begins that way, as you're describing it there. My father is going into assisted living and no longer needs these items. I'm trying to sell them to help defray his expenses. And then they list a bunch of items, very often expensive, high-end on it, vehicles and cameras and, farm equipment, that kind of thing. And they'll list pictures and suggested prices for these things. And you may be inclined or tempted to purchase some of these things. A, because it's a good deal, but B, because you want to help out your friend and your friend's parent. But let that be your tip-off, these first words. My parent is going into assisted living, and it sounds very believable. And it's exactly what you're talking about, Greg, there. Somebody has spoofed a Facebook page, your friend's Facebook page, or has hijacked it, pirated it, and now is using that to create this air of believability as they try to scam people out of their money.
Someone's going into assisted living or somebody in the family died. It feels like the funeral scam, but in 2025. Before you had people scanning obituaries and then burglarizing homes. Now you have this, but on social media.
There's also a side note to that old funeral scam. It's being played out in modern time as well, in a very insidious way. For example, you'll see, so they're going through obituaries. They find somebody who died. They reach out. They do a little social engineering. Find family members. They reach out to those family members and say, "Hey, before he died, your grandpa handed me a manila envelope and said I'm supposed to give it to you after he died, and I'm supposed to take $600 as a fee for holding on to this, and then hand you the envelope." So they're reaching out to people at the worst time of their lives when their judgment may be down somewhat. And it's just absolute. And it's exactly what you're talking about, Jessica. It's the same old scanning the obits, then putting on a suit, going to a funeral and ripping off the family somehow like that. But it's being done online now.
Jim, is Facebook doing anything about these scams? And I'll give you an example. In the last 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I have just been inundated with direct messages that I know immediately are scams. They say something like, "You violated some term of Facebook. Please click this link or your account will be closed." Well, I never click on them. But all of a sudden, the last 3 weeks, I get numerous ones in a day. I used to, every once in a while, when I knew something was a scam, report it. But I found that it would come back and it would say denied, or you would never get anything back. So it leaves me wondering, is Facebook doing anything about these scams?
Well, hard to say. And I think you're right. People are encouraged to report these things either to the FTC, maybe the BBB, maybe Facebook itself. I think you're right. And now we hear that Zuckerberg is kind of easing off on some of the standards or some of the fact-checking that happens within Facebook and across Meta. And that's kind of scary, too. So it's up to you to protect yourself, Jessica, instead of relying on Facebook to do it or to monitor itself, because it may not be doing that much more in the future.
Sure.
So, here's a trick. So if you see this list of items that your friend is trying to sell ostensibly, this happened, I saw yesterday. A friend of mine told me about this. There was a picture of a Ford F-150 pickup truck they were selling. Beautiful shape. The picture of it was just gorgeous from different angles. And they were selling it for $7,000, which is irresistible.
Yeah.
But if you do a Google search on the images, those pickup truck images, they had actually come from a car dealership well outside of Facebook and having nothing at all to do with any of that. They just took the pictures, put them onto this spoof page, and make it look very believable.
ABC's Jim Ryan. Jim, I don't own a Toyota Camry. If you see that I'm selling one on Facebook, just keep scrolling, my friend.
I will.
Have a good weekend, Jim.
See you, Jim.
See you guys.
Take it easy. We'll check in with Jim again sometime next week. Coming up next, a look at the weekend's weather and a bit of a warm-up here. How long will it last? TMJ4's Brendan Johnson joins us after this.
The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
The deeper the hole, the more damage you're going to cause, especially if you're driving around with low tire pressure.
We're talking about potholes, and if you're not careful, they'll spring up out of nowhere and bite you right in the keister.
We've fixed broken ball joints, broken control arms, blown struts, damaged wheel alignments.
You name it, we've fixed it. That wheel alignment is an adjustment of your suspension, which is a system that connects your car to its wheels.
And when your alignment's off, you get uneven, premature tire wear, and we have a fix for that too.
If a pothole has bitten you where it hurts, come to Richlands for a professional evaluation by one of our ASE certified technicians.
And at the very least, we'll make sure you have the right amount of air pressure in your tires.
And remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands, your
Due for Service.
Since 1964, we've changed your tires and so much more. Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Well, flurries are flying downtown in Milwaukee, but a warm-up is on the way. TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson joins us to talk about it. Hey, Brendan.
Yeah, hey guys, how's it going?
You're doing great. So yeah, I walked to get a coffee with our producer Gina today, and we noticed it going over the Skywalk system. It's like an honest, heavy flurry that's flying around right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's warm enough here at the surface that a lot of this just kind of melts on the ground, so it's not really accumulating on sidewalks or streets, but still messy, kind of gross nonetheless. This little system we're tracking down to the south has shifted a little bit farther to the north, so it's brought a little bit more of this light snow into the area, but overall, I think fairly manageable. It just, kind of gray, gloomy, and all in all, pretty just gross to look outside at.
Yeah, definitely messy. When is it going to end?
Yeah, so we're looking for this really to start tapering off later this afternoon, around 4 or 5 o'clock. So I think just in time for that evening commute, we're really going to be winding this down. Again, we're not really looking at much accumulating on roads and sidewalks, especially if they have been pre-treated or have a little salt on them. I think we'll be just fine. Temperatures are hovering just a few degrees above freezing all across southeastern Wisconsin. So I think we'll be fine in that regard. But yeah, around 4, 5, 6 is when things will start tapering off for us.
I had some friends in the greater Scottsdale area for spring training this week. It is 47 and rainy right now. They are not happy, and I think we might be warmer than that at some points this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend, I mean, we've got the partly cloudy sky on tap for our Saturday. I know a lot of folks are going to be out for the Shamrock Shuffle around Milwaukee. It'll be a little cooler, but 45 degrees, not bad. And then we break out some beautiful sunshine, guys, on Sunday, 52 degrees. More sun on Monday. We jump into the upper 50s. I think a lot of us could make a run at 60. Woo! And then by Tuesday, a little bit more cloud cover, but still mild, mid-50s. This is, just wonderful mild air around the corner. I was out at River Edge Nature Center up in Saukville yesterday. The maple tapping season is underway, so this is a really cool time where we get to kind of flip the switch a little bit from winter to spring.
Oh, that's so lovely. I can't believe Monday. I mean, 58 for a high. We're talking about 60. And by the way, you mentioned the Shamrock Shuffle. I feel like the people participating in the Shamrock Shuffle don't really care about the weather. They never really focus on the weather.
Not really. I think it's the drinks and the food. That's pretty much about it.
They're just having too much fun.
There's food involved?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Only for some.
I was not aware, Brendan. I was not aware.
For some.
Okay, fair enough.
For some.
Really quick, Brendan, I know it's going to be a nice little stretch here. Is there anything long range that we should be concerned with?
At this point in time, not necessarily. I was looking ahead at some of the long-range computer models. There could be another system that rolls in next weekend, mainly rain, but I'm not seeing any big swings in temperatures or anything that's going to bring us, another giant round of snow. So at this point, I can say everyone breathe easy. It looks like, mornings, of course, will be a bit chillier, but it really does look like we're in for a bit more of a mild stretch ahead.
All right, we'll take it. Appreciate it, Brendan. We'll check it again next week.
Thanks, Brendan.
Awesome. Sounds good. Have a good weekend.
You too. It's 11:27, 34 degrees. Flurries are flying in downtown Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm Tony Drake from Drake & Associates. If you're in or near retirement, you're facing one of the biggest financial decisions of your life. When to take Social Security? Should you claim it now or wait for a bigger benefit? The wrong decision could cost you tens of thousands of dollars in lost income. And once you lock in your choice, there's no do-over. The truth is, Social Security is more complicated than most people think. The age you file, your marital status, other income sources, all of it impacts how much you'll receive. And in today's economy with rising costs and uncertainty about future benefits, You need to make every dollar count. At Drake & Associates, we help hardworking Americans make smart decisions about retirement. Income is just one stop on your retirement-ready roadmap, and we'll help you navigate every turn so you can maximize your benefits and keep more of what you earned. Don't make this decision blindly. Get the facts and a plan today. Text SS to 414-897-9522 to claim your free retirement toolkit and a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready. Inside, you'll learn strategies to help optimize your Social Security, reduce taxes, and create a retirement income plan that works for you. But don't wait. These resources are only available while supplies last. Secure your future today. Text SS to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping you retire with confidence.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
It's 11:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Friday, March 7th. Your top story, a teen charged with killing his mother.
I'm Jessica Ty. The biggest issue in Wisconsin prisons.
Some flurries today. It should be a little more dry to the north and maybe a little more slushy toward the state line. High of 37 today, partly cloudy tonight and a low of 23. Partly cloudy on Saturday with a high of 45. We get into the 50s on Sunday and Monday. Might even see 60s early next week.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge has denied a request for an injunction against Elon Musk's Doge team and the access to sensitive payment systems at the Treasury Department. ABC Stephen Portnoy with details.
The judge says the concerns Americans have about their data are, quote, understandable and no doubt widely shared. But she says there's been no proof that the Treasury Department's Doge team's access to it has caused anyone irreparable harm. Judge Colleen Kohler-Catelli writes, plaintiffs have not shown that any improper disclosure of private information outside the federal government has taken place or that any such dissemination is planned in the future.
President Trump hosting a crypto summit today at the White House, talking with digital currency leaders, and he could announce a U.S. strategic cryptocurrency reserve. Texas health officials say measles cases climbing by 39 more cases since Tuesday. There are now 198 measles cases in the state. The majority, health experts say, are people unvaccinated. You're listening to ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 11:31. Your top story, a 15-year-old charged with stabbing his mother to death in the village of Caledonia returns to court today. Reed Dolinsky being charged as an adult after prosecutors say he planned to kill both his parents and was inspired by a recent documentary about the Menendez brothers. Racine County District Attorney Patricia Hansen.
Extremely violent but planned offense. His original plan was not just for the one victim, but for two.
Dolinsky's being held on $1 million bond. He is allowed supervised contact with his father at the Juvenile Detention Center.
Changes are coming to Wisconsin prisons in the wake of more inmates dying in outdated facilities. Dodge County Sheriff Dale Schmidt tells WTMJ the biggest issue in correctional facilities is overcrowding.
You may not know this, but right now, as of today, the Department of Corrections is 5,400 people above capacity. They're predicted, the secretary put out a memo to his staff, 2 years from now, they're going to be 6,400 people above capacity. You close Green Bay Correctional, you're taking 750 more beds away. Where are you going to put these people?
Schmidt says more facilities need to be built or renovated to deal with the overcrowding.
Ginseng is an herbal remedy used all across China, Taiwan, really around the world, but a good amount of it comes from Wisconsin farms. Will Sue has one of those farms in Wausau. He tells WTMJ with tariffs imposed on goods from China, his business is suffering, along with other smaller family farms.
Family farms in Wisconsin are disappearing, and this is part of that as agriculture has changed, as industries have gotten bigger, as corporations have gotten larger and involved in agriculture. You know, family farms such as ours just become less relevant.
Sue says as more corporations take over farms, it becomes tougher for smaller family farms to stay in business.
It's official now. Sunday night racing will continue at the Slinger Super Speedway. The track was sold to Travis and Kelsey Dasso. The couple says they plan to keep the tradition of Sunday night racing at the nearly 80-year-old track. The 2025 racing season begins April 27th.
All the results are in for the U.S. Cheese Championship held in Green Bay. The aged Gouda, made by Arethusa Farm in Bantam, Connecticut, bested 2,400 or so entries with a winning score of just under 99 out of 100. Runner-ups included a St. Malachi aged Gouda made by the farm at Doe Run in Coatesville, Pennsylvania, and a Parmesan made by Lake Country Dairy Schumann Cheese in Turtle Lake, Wisconsin. 31 states competed at this year's championship, with 55 best-of-class finishes earned by Wisconsin master cheese makers.
I always read those stickers on the cheese when you're at the grocery store if it says award winner. I'm always curious, and it might make me buy it more.
Is there a cash prize?
Well, you don't get cheese as the prize.
I don't know. Thought you might be able to take home some cheddar.
Oh, jeez. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
So cheddar is another term on the street for money.
You got some
You
cash?
take home the
You
cheddar.
got some money? You got the cheddar.
I don't know if the folks at Palermo's entered this competition. They could scrape all the cheese off a Screamin' Sicilian, enter it, and probably win. I'm telling you, it's that good, right? It's Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza, made proudly in Wisconsin for 60 years and doing it right. Doing it the right way in the state of Wisconsin. I'm telling you, if you're not cashing in on Palermo's, you're missing out on the best frozen pizza you are going to find. It's Connie's Urban Pie, Screamin' Sicilian. I'd say we have one of those a weekend. That typically times out just with our rhythms. We're all over the place. Sometimes we need to make it easy and delicious. It's Palermo's, never holding back on its quality and always having a slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's wherever you like to shop. Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's game time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year, I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker, and H&R Benefits Consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers supposed to play the Padres later today. It's 49 and raining right now in the greater Phoenix area. We'll see if they get that game off the ground. Our next broadcast scheduled for Saturday at 2 o'clock. College basketball, big weekend here as Marquette wraps up the regular season on the home floor against 6th-ranked St. John's. It's an 11 a.m. tip on Saturday morning. 12th-ranked Wisconsin takes on Penn State at the Kohl Center Saturday at noon. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Heads up, they're wet. In some cases, they're a little bit snowy, depending on where you're driving. The accident that we had earlier has cleared. The only thing we have right now, as I'm taking a peek, that is new, I-94 West, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 100, Highway 100. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down, but there's not a lot of traffic out there right now, so we're looking pretty good right now.
Some flurries today. You might get a little more slushy type snow closer to the state line. You might be totally dry if you're north in our listening area. Whatever the case, kind of a chilly day, kind of dreary with a high of 39, overnight low of 24. A weekend warm-up on tap with a high of 45 on Saturday, 52 on Sunday. Monday's high, we could touch 60. 34, cloudy and flurries in Milwaukee at 11:39.
It's the first Friday of Lent. That means many people will not be having meat for dinner. It's a great night to hit up your favorite fish fry spot. And one of the most popular in southeastern Wisconsin is Kegel's Inn in West Dallas. There is so much history there, and that's part of why I love it, too.
A little history lesson here. The first time I was in Kegel's, I had to think back, was probably somewhere around 1987.
Oh.
Like, I feel like I was a kid. We had just moved back to Brookfield. We lived in Madison. We had a little family get-together, and one of those places where you used to visit, my relatives, I ended up buying that house from my great-uncle who built the house near State Fair Park in the 50s. And one of the first places that I went after I bought the house was Kegel's for a fish fry.
Well, that is a great memory.
Separated by about 35 years or so.
Oh, I love that. Well, joining us live in the studio before all those crowds come in tonight is Julian Kegel, co-owner of Kegel's Inn. How many people are you expecting tonight?
Probably about 1,000.
1,000. How much fish do you have to make and prepare? I know you've been doing this for years, but still, there's got to be some excitement to today every year.
A ton. The whole staff is just jazzed because this is like our Super Bowl, right? Day one of Lent gets us out of the dreary, aspects of winter. The weather didn't really play ball today, but that's why we have our drive-through. So if you don't want to wait in the lines, you can just go right through the parking lot. But ultimately, this is food church for us.
It's fantastic. Food church is a good way to put it. It's a religious experience if you've had the food there as well. So how do you decide exactly how many offerings you're going to have when it is so busy, right? Does your menu change a little bit for the Lenten season or at least day one of Lent?
Well, let's talk about the pandemic. We had just one choice, and that was all we could offer because we were so limited on our staff and what we were going to do. The drive-through really honed down our menu, and the whole point of the last few years is to bring it all back to normal, right? So we have all of our 10 fish fries available, everything on the menu except our German specialties. So loaded brats and Bavarian appetizers, and then all these choices of fish for Lent.
Okay, so you talk about the menu. I printed off from your website the original menu from Kegel's Inn, circa mid-1930s. This is so cool. How has the menu changed from then until now?
Well, the beauty is that's remarkably similar. We're doing a bunch of digging for our 100-year anniversary in December. We found gobs of old photos and old menus, and a lot of the things that are on the menu were on in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. We got through the 80s unscathed, and then here we are today with a very similar menu.
What about the prices?
Well, they've gone up, of course. That we can't help. So if we want to last another 100 years, we just have to go with what works for the business to keep all of our employees employed, some of which have been with the business for over 40 years.
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
Well, it's family, right? I mean, it is a true family-run business, Julie, and you're the latest to take over in a long history of Kegel's that have helped run the place. What is the secret, right? You talk about 100 years in this location in West Dallas, right off Greenfield. Yep. People have passed by it 1 million times, and hopefully people have stopped in.
Yeah, so let's talk about, we've driven past it, but we don't see what's going on inside because these stained glass windows kept onlookers from seeing in during Prohibition. And we've been true to that, right? Like, you walk into another world when you walk through that big, heavy wooden door, right? But what you said earlier, it's about the generational aspect. It's going there with your grandparents for a birthday party or for a memorial, and then you bring your baby, and it's the baby's first fish fry at Kegel's. So we're cementing memories from the start of life to the end of life. And that's the secret.
Oh my gosh. And you talk about the wood and then the stained glass. That's all part of the history. Prohibition. You also have, as you were looking through things, the arrest ticket for Anna Kegel for dispensing and possessing alcohol during the Prohibition. Where did you find that?
Unbelievably, just in a box in the basement. What a great story to tell, right?
Where she used to make her gin.
Yeah, totally. Well, so all of the cops and the mayor and the politicians were drinking at Kegel's. This was like the hub of activity in West Dallas, right? So they got the wind that legislation was changing in 1928. If you look at the date closely on that ticket, you'll see May 1st, 1927. Okay?
Wow.
So great-grandma gets this drinking ticket, but they lawyer up and they basically appeal the decision. And very briefly, for about a year, Wisconsin then changes its laws and decriminalizes prohibition. We're the first state to do it, and that's like the power of the Tavern League. We sort of tell that story as like, if you've heard how big the Tavern League is, this is what the consequences were. They saved Kegel's Inn, not specifically, but in that change of legislation. So it's just an amazing story that Kegel survives because they knew what was happening in Wisconsin's legislation.
That's huge. One of the other things I think about, and this might be something you go in, you've heard that the fish fry is great at Kegel's. You go in and you taste the food and you walk out and you love it. But some people walk in and do all of that as well, but also really look at the surroundings. Mm-hmm. You have some incredible murals, and there's a lot of history there as well. Can you tell us about the murals?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people walk in for the first time and they go, wow, this is beautiful wallpaper. Where did you get that? And we go, no, well, this was a cathedral painter from Darmstadt who came over to America in the 1933 range. And he became buddies with my great-grandpa. So my great-grandpa sponsored him, helped him get his nationalization papers, and in exchange, Peter Grice was his name. He spent 7 years painting the restaurant.
Wow.
And not once, but twice. Okay. So what was happening during the 33 to 40 era? Well, it wasn't very popular to be German. So great-grandma was reflecting those times, and she had all of these German sayings that were up on the walls painted over to reflect an allegiance with the British Allies.
Wow.
So you'll see these red coat horses in some of the scenes, and a lot of the old pictures that we found for our 100-year, they reflect these changes that it's not what it used to be. It's changed and evolved over the years.
So you're talking about roughly 100 years, right? Mm-hmm. So it's family that comes over from Germany. They settle in Wisconsin like so many did. So many
millions.
Folks from Poland and Italy, right? Deep roots here in Wisconsin. At what point was it, we don't know what else to do, let's do what we do best. We make food. We can do, how does the idea come into the mind of settlers from a foreign country in a brand new land?
Great question. I wish I had a time machine for that question. Yeah. I mean, industrialization and being productive, right? Like nobody wants to move to a new country and just, not work. Like I think my great-grandpa, because he built this building and this business, he looked, we have a flat roof. So he went up on that flat roof and he could see the cities merge together. I'm talking West Dallas as it grew and Milwaukee as it spread west.
Wow.
There was farmland in between when they moved there, right? So he saw the growth of these two cities come together. And I think that just being sunk into a community, and West Dallas was notoriously Slovenian. And so he also married a Slovenian woman and was from those regions of Austria. So I think it was more like, kind of sticking together, and we were all going to survive this together.
That's fascinating.
It's before the freeway. I mean, the freeway did not exist at that point.
For sure. You had to take a rail car to West Dallas, and it ran right down National, right past our building. And those tracks, I think, will get uncovered when they redo the National Avenue in 2930.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Years ago, I did a story with you guys, and I remember saying, can we walk into the kitchen? Can we get some video back here? And I was struck by the fact that the kitchen was
green?
I think it green and so very old school, which I found so charming that you guys kept that around. I'm curious. That was years ago now. A lot of people like to renovate their kitchens.
Yeah, we sure do.
Did you?
Well, in 2018, we built the beer garden in the street, and it doubled the capacity of the restaurant. So we had to upgrade the engine. So quick story. We decided to go down this pipeline of doing a kitchen renovation in 2019. We pulled the trigger in February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, and we decided that we were going to be closed for exactly 10 days and be open for Ash Wednesday for Lent. Everything went to plan. The contractors did a wonderful job. All new electrical, all new fryers, all new equipment. I mean, we spent a buttload on this thing. And we open up for fish fry, and we're like jamming, and this new system's great, and we've got this brand new engine. And then what happened 20 days later?
The pandemic.
We got closed. But that's when we opened our drive-through because it was chaos inside. So we kept everybody outside, double line drive-through system in our parking lot. And because we built this brand new kitchen, we were able to triple our business on Friday nights. So it was a silver lining for sure.
You help people feel normal again, right?
Yep.
It's what people were wanting to do, just a taste of normalcy.
Yep. And we had to ask for that
cool.
support, right? Like we had to be vulnerable and fragile at the same time.
Did you keep anything from that kitchen, though, back in the day, just as like a memento that you can take a picture of and also post that on your website?
Yeah, you bet. All the old wooden butcher blocks that we used to pound veal upstairs are now downstairs.
Oh.
So those are relics you can't get rid of. And there's the dips in from all of the pounding over the years. I mean, you can really feel that character.
So much history and so much good food as well. Julian Kegel, thanks so much for joining us.
You bet.
And good luck tonight with all those crowds for the first Friday of Lent. Good fish fry.
11:49, the Week in Review is coming up next.
When you've been seriously injured, you'll need a team with knowledge and experience to get the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Well, Siding Unlimited has done it again. This is pretty amazing stuff. I was talking to Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited. He was on a trip to Dallas, and it's a trip that he makes every year. And year after year, Siding Unlimited is rewarded for their incredible work. In fact, it's the 5th time that Pella has recognized Siding Unlimited as their National Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year. That's why I went to Dallas. He got the award. It's the 5th time Siding Unlimited has been regarded as the best installer of Pella products. That's amazing. Let that sink in for a second. That is a nationwide award. For Siding Unlimited, they've got a variety of ways to beautify your home's exterior. Windows, just one of the ways. Siding, roofing, doors, you name it. Gutters, downspouts, it's Siding Unlimited. Ask them about patio projects, pavers, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, whatever. Think big. Think Siding Unlimited and visit sidingunlimited.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Anti-Heartbreak Officer Brian Wickert. While national headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, that's still not the case in most of Wisconsin. The good news is that now, even in winter, AccuNet's experienced loan consultants are already helping many of our pre-approved home shoppers become homeowners and avoid the heartbreak of losing in a multi-offer situation. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that also might come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. When an appraisal is needed, we can also show you in dollars and cents what it means to willingly pay a certain dollar amount over the appraised value if that's what's needed to win, which is usually a lot less scary than people imagine. Reduce your risk of home shopper heartbreak by getting started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
It's like being trapped in a cage. And I know, that sounds dramatic, but your breathing triangle problem has got you trapped. And once you're freed, you're going to be able to live the life that you're missing out on. Now, this can simply mean experiencing the true pleasure of breathing freely. It will mean better sleep and more energy. And the worry of this problem any more affecting your life is going to be gone. Because in almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it's a one and done. Because we're not in the business of delivering Band-Aids. We want to fix your nasal breathing problem for good. We don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Isn't it time you break free from that cage? Take the next step. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
A ruckus address in Washington, a violent stabbing in Racine County, the Greek Freak becomes Mr. 20K, and more. It's all part of the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
And the Oscar goes to
Honora.
I want to thank the Academy for recognizing a truly independent film.
Conan O'Brien was the ideal host. He was witty and silly, as you would expect.
Little fact for you, Honora uses the F word 479 times. That's 3 more than the record set by Carla Sofia Gascon's publicist.
Burn!
A packed house at the Baird Center as Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson delivers his 2025 State of the City address.
Milwaukee's people are strong, and so too is the state of our city.
Our guest, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson. I specifically thank you for the speed bumps on Prospect Avenue. They've been wonderful for my daily commute.
Milwaukee Public Schools is temporarily shutting down an elementary school due to dangerous levels of lead.
Shocked that this is happening in 2025, many decades after we knew why lead was bad.
What's round, filled with deliciousness, and the star of Fat Tuesday? It's me. If you said punchki, you're right.
We're doing about 40,000 punchkis between today and tomorrow.
That's a lot of punchkis.
That's 144 eggs.
Oops. President Trump speaking to Congress this hour.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Citizens, America is back.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat. The chair now directs the Sergeant at Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available. Hand me down the walking cane.
The House will come to order.
Shh. He shushed me. Another one? Yes, another shusher.
Welcome, Dr. Casillas. We're excited to work alongside you.
When you applied for this position, did you think you were going to, start March 15th and have the boots on the ground already?
I did not.
Sidney Moncrief, Bucks legend, joins us in studio. How do you view your time in Milwaukee?
Life-changing. The importance of where you play could never be underrated.
Giannis cracks 20,000 points for his career.
How have you been able to stay focused on the ultimate goal, get through these obstacles to reach this point in your career?
What separates me from the other players around me and the people that have played the game is that my heart, my spirit, my work ethic, and how disciplined I am to repeat it.
Cracking cheese, Gromit.
Cheesemaker Steve Stetler with Decatur Dairy has been competing in the U.S. Cheese Championship as a master cheesemaker for more than 40 years.
Whether it's a little discrepancy in flavor or, there's some oddball thing that shows up, it's a true competition.
A 15-year-old accused of stabbing his mother to death in their Caledonia home is charged with first-degree intentional homicide.
This was an extremely violent but planned offense.
A Summerfest announcement. This sound just takes me back. 311 is going to headline on July 3rd at the BMO Pavilion.
It is finally time to investigate 311!
A decision has been made in the Morgan Geyser case. She's connected to the Slumber Man stabbing one of two girls that stabbed her classmate.
The team preparing Morgan Geyser's conditional release plan recently learned she was reading the book Rent Boy by Gary, Indiana.
The state has not met its burden by clearing convincing evidence to show that Ms. Geyser is a risk of safety to herself.
Today is the day that a convicted murderer in South Carolina, will be executed by firing squad.
Sigmund had a choice between lethal injection, firing squad, or the electric chair as his manner of execution.
If something happened to your family member and it was that person that did it, would you want to be that person to go and be on that firing squad? Wow. And let them do it?
Barbaric and ironic.
What are we, gay?
Punchki.
Shh. How do you characterize it?
Thursday.
Losing the hour, I just get evil.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. And they're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Fingers come in different sizes.
It's one of the first things you learn as a jeweler.
And a ring can only be sized up or down a little bit.
Which means it's a really good thing to know your ring size.
And it's an even better thing to know their ring size.
This is why we're announcing
the Ring Size Registry at Kessler's.
We're doing it as a public service. It's completely free.
Free. Isn't that a great price?
Here's how it works.
Just drop into any Kessler's Diamonds location and tell one of the owners that you'd like to know your ring size.
Kessler's is an employee-owned company, so whoever greets you at the door is an owner.
They'll determine your ring sizes and add them to our ring size registry.
Then, when someone wants to know your ring size...
Because, maybe they want to surprise you.
All they have to do is call or stop into Kessler's.
Surprises can be fun, don't you think?
We're happy to do this for you, even if you don't buy a ring from us.
But after you take a look around, we think you probably will. Visit KesslersDiamonds.com for a location near you and register your ring sizes today.
Beer fans, travel lovers, and history buffs, this is your dream vacation. Join me, Sandy Max, on a 10-day journey through Germany, Austria, and the Czech Republic. We'll enjoy Munich's famous beer halls, sip our way through Salzburg's historic breweries, and discover Vienna's culture and craft beer scene. Then end the tour in Prague, where ancient history meets modern brews. From iconic castles to authentic flavors. Grab your passport and let's raise a glass to the ultimate beer adventure. Limited spots available. Book now. Email me, sandy@wtmj.com to learn more.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I'm Libby Collins. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we talk with one of the hosts of Wisconsin's Midday News, Greg Matzek.
I'd go to Brewer games and take my little recorder on a cassette, and I would edit that stuff. That was great. I was 18 years old, 19 years old, going into the locker room at County Stadium, talking to baseball players, and getting that sound and taking it back for use on a program on WTMJ. That was my first taste of what it would be like to be a sports reporter.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only inside the arena at the Waukesha County Fairgrounds.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzek, and this is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Friday, March 7th. Your top story, conditional release granted.
I'm Jessica Ty. Missile strike on Ukraine.
Well, some flurries around the area right now. A little more dry to the north, a little more slushy to the south near the state line. A high of 37, partly cloudy tonight, and a low of 23. 33 degrees, a mixture of rain and flurries falling in Milwaukee. At 12:01 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a Waukesha County judge rules the Slenderman stabbing defendant Morgan Geyser can proceed with conditional release.
The state has not met its burden by clearing convincing evidence to show that Ms. Geyser is a risk of safety to herself, danger to herself, or danger to others.
Judge Michael Boren upholding his January decision. In a petition to revoke her release, the state had raised concerns about a book Geyser read containing violent themes and contact she had with a man who fixated on her violent past. But Geyser's medical team, including Dr. Ken Robbins, testified.
My opinion hasn't changed. I continue to believe that Ms. Geyser should be released under conditional release.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission votes to file a deposition against the City of Madison clerk's office. The reason? nearly 200 absentee ballots that didn't get counted in the 2024 general election.
This feels like a complete lack of leadership.
The resounding tenor from the Wisconsin Elections Commission Friday was one of concern regarding a seeming lack of urgency from the office of Madison Clerk Mary Beth Wetzel Bell regarding the reporting of the uncounted ballots. Commission Chair Ann Jacobs.
I am genuinely troubled by the number of profoundly bad decisions that are recited in these materials.
New guidance on counting absentee ballots is expected to be released before the Commission's March 12th meeting. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Russia launching a major missile attack on Ukraine after the U.S. cut off military aid.
Russia launching 67 missiles and almost 200 drones at Ukraine, a massive air assault that comes just as the U.S. cuts aid and intelligence sharing to Ukraine. European leaders, meanwhile, backing plans to spend more on defense and continue standing by Ukraine. Ukrainian President Zelensky calling for a truce covering air and sea and saying talks between the U.S. and Ukraine to end the war will resume next week in Saudi Arabia. Inez de la Gutierrez, ABC News, at the Foreign Desk.
President Trump says he's strongly considering levying new sanctions and tariffs on Russia for its war against Ukraine. He's floating the possibility of applying new pressure on Moscow after the White House paused U.S. military aid and assistance to Kiev. The sanctions threat comes as President Trump faces criticism for increasing pressure on Ukraine to reach a deal while playing down or even denying Russia's responsibility for starting the war.
In Oshkosh, the Oshkosh School District is looking into an incident that took place at a middle school in January. NBC 26's Claire Peterson reports.
In OPD body camera footage, the student resource officer and dean of students, Christopher Willems, pushed the student towards an exit door. The student refuses to leave, asking for his belongings, and tells the officer not to touch him. The footage then shows Willems pushing the student up against the wall before the SRO handcuffs him and pushes him to the ground. The student is on the floor for more than 4 minutes before other officers arrive.
Oshkosh police say the student was arrested for threatening a police officer. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Things pretty close to the vest here. The Dow is up about 50 points at 42,633. It was down a little bit in the 11 o'clock hour. Same with the NASDAQ. Remains down about 17 points at 18,051. S&P 500 bouncing back and forth off a little less than a point this afternoon at 57.38. Good day for Apple. Up about 2%, trading at $240 per share. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
A bright spot for the Brewers. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
Feeling like winter inside your house? WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. Many homes built before 1980 have little to no insulation. Anything you do, better than what you got, but you call USA and now you've got the best. Their foam injection method, 35% more efficient than your standard wall insulation. Most jobs done in as little as a day. Some homeowners qualify for thousands in rebates and discounts. Every USA customer begins saving money day one. USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Hey, it's Lent. That's right. The Lenten season is here. Experience the fabulous Friday Fish Fry at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club. WTMJ's John Merck here. I love the Fox and Hounds Fish Fry. It's all you can eat. It's one of the best, and it's always fantastic service. All other dinners are buy one, get one free tonight and this weekend. The pan-fried walleye, salmon, scallops, pasta, a big fresh salad, even steak and lobster, your second dinner's free. Desserts and huge ice cream drinks, I love the Brandy Alexanders, are buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned, there's over 20 bourbons and 100 fine wines, unique dining rooms with fireplaces. The Fox and Hound sits in the Kettle Moraine Forest. The scenery is spectacular. It's a Wisconsin must-see, and your second dinner's free. Saturday, your second prime rib dinner is free. So check out the Friday Lenten Fish Fry. All other dinners are buy one, get one free. Just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Call and reserve at one of my favorite spots, the Fox and Hounds.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Brewers and Padres supposed to meet up this afternoon in Arizona in Cactus League action. It is kind of rainy in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area right now, and just 49 degrees. Not a great day for baseball. It's been a great spring for Brewers reliever Craig Yoho, however.
Prospects from the bullpen never get as much pub as those who are starters, but Craig Yoho is certainly turning heads to this point in camp. On Thursday, the righty went 2 innings with 4 strikeouts. In 5 total frames this spring, he's got 9 Ks. Manager Pat Murphy.
You got to take a look at it. You got to look at it seriously. I mean, devastating changeup. There was enough strikes. I think he's got also a great future.
One factor working against Yoho to making the roster, he's not on the 40-man. Meaning a corresponding move would need to be made. From Hohokam Stadium in Mesa, I'm Dominic Cotroneo.
Our next broadcast scheduled for Saturday afternoon at 2. Big weekend of college basketball. The regular season wraps up for 20th-ranked Marquette Saturday morning on the home floor against 6th-ranked St. John's. It's an 11 o'clock tip. 12th-ranked Wisconsin takes on Penn State at the Kohl Center Saturday at noon. Badgers Sports Update, sponsored by Siding Unlimited.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. We do have a new crash that just popped up minutes ago in Milwaukee. It's in the metro area, right over by Best Place at the historic Pabst Brewery, that spot over there. I-43 South at Highland Avenue, right shoulder is blocked due to a crash. I can see 2 cars out there, and just a heads up, it is wet on the roads right now. It's kind of just gloomy and nasty and messy. That's how March goes sometimes in Milwaukee. I-43 South at Highland Avenue, right shoulder blocked because of a new crash.
And kind of a mix of light rain and flurries in Milwaukee right now. Temperatures at 34 degrees, so you're in that weird in-between zone. Might see a little more slushy accumulation to the south. Should be pretty dry to the north, looking at the radar. Anywhere north of West Bend, doesn't look like anything is falling right now, according to the radar. Temperatures topping out about 36 degrees, overnight low 24, up to 45 for your high on Saturday. 33, light snow and rain in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Friday edition, hour number 2 of Wisconsin's Midday News. Hope we get you ready for your Fish Fry Friday. I don't discriminate against fish fries. I like it in October. I like it in March. I like it in December. It really doesn't matter for me. I like a good fish fry, and I like testing out new places. That's why it was fun to have Julian Kegel in, reminding me of just how delicious and unique the experience is at Kegel's. And there's so many great pockets in the Milwaukee area where you can have a great fish fry and beyond.
Oh, totally. And you can mix it up, too. And the thing is, you don't have to go out for a fish fry. A lot of places, too, have great fish here in southeastern Wisconsin and across Wisconsin. But there's something, I guess, that just, because it's the first Friday of Lent, it just makes it a little bit more exciting for the fish fry because I think so many more people are going to go out and get their fish fry. So it just feels a little different. Kind of puts it on another level.
Well, maybe get out there early if you don't have a reservation. Going to be a busy night across the area with restaurants doing it. 12:11 here, some big stories that we're following.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
A new study shares a sobering statistic about mass shootings.
The research shows 1 in 15 U.S. adults have been present at a mass shooting in their lifetime, and more than 2% have been injured in such an incident. Study author and University of Colorado Boulder sociology professor David Pyrus.
The top-line findings would suggest that exposure to mass shootings is far more widespread than we had originally anticipated.
The study finds those who are part of Generation Z were at greatest risk compared to older generations. It was published in the journal JAMA Network Open. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Something about hearing those numbers, it just sticks with you. It's like, wow. And you think about it, I mean, you hope that it never happens here, but it does. And we just saw that with the Madison school shooting. In fact, it was just yesterday, the family of a 14-year-old who survived that school shooting at Abundant Life Christian School was talking and basically saying they thank God every single day that their child is still alive.
From shredding powder to distributing it, a former Olympic snowboarder, now on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
Agents announcing former Canadian snowboarder Ryan Wedding is now on the 10 most wanted list. Agents claiming Wedding is the head of a deadly drug smuggling ring, funneling thousands of kilos of cocaine into the U.S. each year. Police say Wedding, who uses the alias El Jefe, is the mastermind of a widespread operation trafficking drugs across the Americas, allegedly behind multiple murders.
This is a crazy story. They can't find the guy. So Wedding competed for Team Canada at the 2002 games in Salt Lake City. A federal arrest warrant was issued for Wedding in September of 2024. They think he's in Mexico, but they're not ruling out that he could be in America or even in Canada, his native country. The U.S. Department of State is offering a $10 million reward for information that'll lead to Wedding's arrest or conviction. This guy is on the run, presumably very well protected wherever he is.
Jeez.
But they're looking for him. A very strange story from a once promising snowboarder, Olympic caliber.
From shredding powder to distributing it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's kind of where we're at.
Well, daylight saving time starts Sunday. Don't forget to set your clocks ahead 1 hour before going to bed Saturday night. Yes, we will spring ahead and lose an hour of sleep. The time shift is reigniting the debate over whether to do away with changing our clocks. Sleep expert and neurologist Dr. Chris Winter says the seasonal time changes should be abolished in favor of a fixed national year-round standard time.
If you look at the rest of the world, we're sort of catching up with what they already know, which is that standard time is healthy time.
What do you say to those who love those brighter evenings and think daylight saving time helps their mood?
Yeah, I love tequila and French fries, but that doesn't make them the healthiest option on the menu when I go to the restaurant.
Tequila and French fries.
Well put.
He also says science shows us that our bodies never really fully adjust to daylight saving time. We'll get that sunlight earlier, though. We can focus on that.
Wait, how many of you really have clocks to reset? How many clocks in your household do you have to go boop, 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 do the manual thing?
Certainly not as many. I remember there was a story last year I read. I can't remember if it was in the Washington Post or where it was, but a man who was talking about as a young boy, his family has, and I think they still do, have so many clocks. So there are like 50 clocks in the house. They just love clocks. But now I change the microwave and I change the stove. And then I do have one clock in my bedroom that I don't even use for the clock. I use it for the sound machine, so I get some white noise at night. So 3 plus, I'd go 3.5 because in the car you have to press the DST button.
Oh, sure. Yep.
How about you?
Not many. It used to be the microwave stove thing, and I'd do it very quickly so I could have accurate times that they would sort of change. You know what I mean?
Same. You got to
That
do
is
it
a
that
pet
way.
peeve when the microwave and stove are out of sync with the clocks. We have new appliances now, and the appliances sort of talk to each other, and they grab a Wi-Fi signal because your microwave needs to. At least that's what I was told.
Okay.
But the clocks are in sync, right? They're just in sync now. So the microwave and stove, same time. Nice. There's this Chef Connect thing that connects the two. But the clocks they change automatically.
That's fancy.
So I think I'm down to zero.
Oh, wow.
That's a great spot to be.
Okay.
That is a great spot to be.
I got 3.5.
All right. 12:16 on WTMJ. Some disturbing stories involving locals. Very disturbing court cases. We'll go through some of the details, criminal complaints. We'll do it after this.
The only place to get this.
Giannis cracks 20,000 points for his career, becoming the 52nd player in NBA history to reach that distinction.
With some of this.
It's been a remarkable career, and some of these milestones that he continues to check off along the way, as Doc was quick to point out, there's a lot about this we take for granted.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Are you sick of not being your bank's top priority? We are too. At Wintrust, we take a different approach to banking. We're proud to be your one true banking partner focused on your unique financial goals. That's right in your backyard. Whether you're opening your first account, buying a home, planning for the future, or starting a business, we have tailored solutions to get you there. Stop settling and start experiencing a better way to bank at Wintrust.com. Wintrust, different approach, better results. Banking products provided by Wintrust Financial Corp Banks, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
So work is moving forward today on a plan to release Slenderman stabber Morgan Geyser. Last night, it's right around 6 o'clock, a judge determined her release should be allowed to continue. The state had petitioned earlier to revoke Geyser's release after learning about a book she was reading and a man she had contact with. And this is really interesting to listen to. I was listening to the hearing yesterday. So the team preparing Morgan Geyser's conditional release plan recently learned she was reading the book Rent Boy by Gary Indiana. They kept referring to it as Rent Boy. I had never heard of it before, so I started looking. There are a couple books with that title, but it ends up being, it's this one from Gary Indiana. So it's a novel that includes themes of sex, comedy, and murder. So the sex part, the murder part, they had concerns there. The team also learned about a man named Jeffrey Pagel, who they referred to as JP, who had contact with Geyser. He went to see her 3 times at Winnebago Mental Health Institute. They also exchanged letters, and Pagel is accused of selling some of her drawings. They say that he was putting some of this correspondence from Geyser up on Facebook and selling it. He was he was very intrigued with this crime. So the team said, and this was the theme and really the point of why they put this petition to revoke her conditional release. They said that they were concerned that there's an unknown risk in releasing Geyser. Unknown risk. That is a phrase that continued to pop up. But Geyser's defense said, hey, look, she didn't break any rules. And actually, one of the other things I found interesting, Geyser's defense said, didn't she bring up the fact that she read this book? And they said that was true. She did bring up the book. It was something they were talking about. They typically, when they're getting to release people, they ask about their activities and what they like to do, and reading was one of theirs, and so they'd like to know what kind of books they're reading. And she mentioned this particular book. So the defense said, hey, she didn't hide it. She brought it up to you, so doesn't honesty count? So bottom line, here we are. You have the 3 doctors who evaluated Geyser earlier this year. They testified yesterday that Geyser is well enough to be released, and they said the new findings don't change their opinion. So the judge ruled, all right, conditional release, let's keep this going. Let's get this plan underway. And you think about, this is a case, a Slenderman stabbing case. This shocked the entire community. It stunned all of us. And this is a case that grabbed the country's attention. It grabbed the world's attention. Geyser was just 12 years old when she and another girl lured their friend into the woods in Waukesha and stabbed her 19 times. We were all shocked that this young lady survived. And Geyser spent 7 years in the mental health facility after being found not guilty by reason of mental disease. So at this point, where we are now, the State Department of Health Services has 11 days to submit Geyser's release plan to the court.
It's been a nationwide story, right? Nationwide traction when it was first became a thing. So no crime in reading a book, to be sure. But why are you reading the book? Is it for leisure? Is it for some other activity that you'd prefer to carry out, as was the case with Slenderman, a fictional character that she was trying to appease along with her friend? And what level of supervision is required if and when she's released from the mental health facility? This doesn't strike me as someone who is just going to go live on their own, find a job somewhere, and just go on with their merry life. That supervision is going to be required.
Oh, for sure. She's going to go into a group home. It's interesting that you bring that up, because something else I was surprised during the hearing, they were talking about putting her into the group home. That's where she would go first. And they said they had identified 2 group homes for her to go to. And at one point, I thought they were going to, the questioning continued, and I thought they were going to say the names of the group homes. And I was like, whoa, 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 because you don't want that public. In fact, it's advised that people like Morgan Geyser don't even tell, say, your mom where you are in the beginning. They really want this tight sealed, and they want people to kind of be able to just reintegrate into the community as best as they can initially.
Another very disturbing story that we're following here today. Reed Jelinski back in court in Racine County, 15 years old, charged with first-degree intentional homicide and the death of his mother. This happened on March 4th, the evening of March 4th, right around 10 p.m. We have the criminal complaint. It's incredibly disturbing.
Very disturbing.
It does describe Reed, who is being tried as an adult, as someone who killed his mother and was believed he should do so after watching the Menendez brothers documentary on Netflix. So picture this. You're sitting with your mother on the couch. She's playing on her computer. You're watching the Menendez brother documentary. You get this in your mind that you're going to kill your parents. And then minutes later, you act it out. After mom goes upstairs, she comes back downstairs to look for something that the child said he had misplaced. And he tries to knock her out. It doesn't work. They end up rolling around on the floor. She is screaming for help, yelling, "Why?" And he stabs her mother multiple times in the chest and neck, killing her, and then sends a Snapchat photo
to a friend
who eventually gets into the hands of police, who arrive at the doorstep about 10:30 in the evening of March 4th. And he's outside with a backpack of sorts and a knife. There's blood on him. And he says that he did it after watching the Menendez brother documentary. And he had intended to kill his father, but according to the criminal complaint, he couldn't find a hammer big enough to carry it out. And now he's allowed supervised contact with his father throughout the juvenile detention center, the hearing, all the stuff that's going to be happening. This is an absolutely mind-boggling story, and reading the criminal complaint was incredibly disturbing.
Yeah, so many disturbing details. I think the one thing that really stuck out to me, though, is when the mother there, as she's ultimately dying, looks at him and asks, "Why? Why are you doing this?" Just one word, according to the criminal complaint, "Why?" And he responded, "Pain." And that was it. We know he was taking pain medication, but lives forever changed.
He admits to have taken roughly 9 anxiety pills that day, but the anxiety pills were not for him. They were not prescribed for him. They were prescribed for a sibling. But Reed Jelinski would go ahead and take those pills because it made him feel high, according to the criminal complaint. So a very disturbing story that we are following here out of Racine County, in addition to the Geyser case, which continues. It's 12:25 on WTMJ. We've got news coming up in just a few minutes. Wisconsin's Midday News continues.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. Happy New Year. How's business? Do you really know? We recently worked with several clients who thought they knew, but didn't because their books were not in order. Imagine thinking you were making $1 million, but because your books are a mess, you were really only making $200,000. Quite a difference. Imagine finding out expenses were not properly recorded or sales were double recorded. If these happen to you, we can help. We work with our clients to clean up their books and give them the information they need to know where their business is now and where it is going in the future. Don't wait. Start on the path to less stress, more cash in your pocket, and no more sleepless nights. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net today to book a meeting. We can talk over Zoom, the phone, in our office, or your place of business. Yes, we like to visit our business clients. Don't wait any longer. Call 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
CertaPro painters know how important your home is to you, and I know how good their work is. CertaPro did the painting at our house, and it's absolutely fantastic. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. And right now, call and ask about their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. They are the best in the business. Inside painting, outside painting, they do it all. Schedule your free home estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. I trust these guys. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro painters.
Namaste. Dan, what are you doing? Shh. You're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients, since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
Hey, college basketball is heating up. There's no better place to watch all the action than Potawatomi Sportsbook. I'm telling you, if you've not been to Potawatomi Sportsbook, you are missing out. And with all the action on the horizon here in college basketball, you want to make Potawatomi Sportsbook your home for all the wackiness in the month of March. That's right. A 2,000-square-foot video wall ensures all the games will be on. Great food. I had a wonderful steak salad the other night. Great drinks as well. Bring some friends. Hang out in the VIP lounge if you want a more private gathering, or be on the floor in the very comfortable furniture. You're going to love it. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Siding is what pops on your home. Clean lines, beautiful accents, and wonderful colors can make your home really look amazing. Homeowners are always looking to add curb appeal when buying new siding, and a well-installed product from Siding Unlimited will definitely deliver a grand appeal. There is so much more to gain from replacing your siding other than the curb appeal you're already seeking. There is so much value in having new siding with low maintenance. Just an annual cleaning with the hose is all you really need to do. You can't get much lower maintenance than that. The process of replacing siding gives homeowners a fresh start, a new understanding knowing that we can peel back the old stuff and get a real in-depth inspection on the walls on your home and the structural integrity. How has the home performed over the past 20 years? We'll see it all when removing the old siding. There's a high percentage your home is missing the most important factor in siding a home, and that's a working water barrier. Many homes built in the 1990s and prior don't have a water barrier beneath the siding, and homes that were built in the 90s that do have one probably have a water barrier that was installed incorrectly. New siding replacement assures us that we install the water barrier correctly and protect the home moving forward. Our process always includes adding insulation board to the wall. This gives you a water barrier underlayment and additional R value, which is an energy coefficient, so warmer walls, adding more value to the project than the expected curb appeal. As the new siding goes back on, we know your home will be ready to manage water well into the future and look amazing doing so.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for siding and also replacement windows, roofing, and decks. Take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more.
It's 12:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It is Friday, March 7th. Your top story, attacking a squad car with a baseball bat.
I'm Jessica Ty. Tariffs impacting ginseng farmers.
Flurries flying, maybe a little bit of rain, a high of 37 today, partly cloudy tonight, and a low of 23. A little warmer on Saturday with a high of 45, back into the 50s. On Sunday, it is 33 and rainy in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Employers added 151,000 jobs last month. The Labor Department figures, though, do not yet include federal layoffs announced in February by the Trump administration. President Trump at the White House says he believes jobs will be added in manufacturing down the road, but uncertainty due to tariffs and a possible trade war with Canada, Mexico, and China could cause businesses to pull back. ABC's Selena Wang has more.
The president also saying in those remarks that he plans to put more tariffs on Canadian dairy and lumber as soon as today. He said maybe Monday or Tuesday. He talked about how Canada has tariffs of 250% on those products, and he says the U.S. wants to treat their dairy and lumber at the same rates.
The president holds a crypto summit this afternoon. He's voiced support for expanding U.S. digital currency policy. A fast-moving winter blast moving across parts of the Midwest today, with Chicago expecting a few inches of snow before it moves east. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Arrested for taking a baseball bat to a squad car in Madison. Madison police following up on a case on Fisher Street Thursday night when a woman armed with a metal baseball bat ran toward the officer. She then destroyed the spotlight on the squad car before turning into a neighbor's house and shattering a window. 36-year-old Sheila Freener of Madison, arrested for threatening an officer, criminal damage to property, and disorderly conduct. No one was hurt.
A 15-year-old charged with stabbing his mother to death in the village of Caledonia returns to court today. Reed Galinsky is charged as an adult. Prosecutors say he planned to kill both of his parents and was inspired by the recent documentary about the Menendez brothers. Racine County District Attorney Patricia Hansen.
This was an extremely violent but planned offense. His original plan was not just for the one victim, but for two.
Galinsky is being held right now on $1 million bond. He'll be allowed supervised contact with his father through the Juvenile Detention Center.
The imposing of tariffs on China and the U.S. not helping businesses that rely on exporting goods. Will Su is a ginseng farmer based in Wausau. He believes the current tariffs are limiting his shipping opportunities to China and Taiwan.
You don't import as much into China, you don't export as much to China. That's really how you deal with it. The idea, I think, is to try to bring people to the negotiating table or have exporters find new markets.
Su says with limits on shipping, he's had to shrink his farm and let go of staff.
Surpassing expectations. Milwaukee's 2% sales tax brought in $200 million for the city. City Comptroller Bill Christensen said he expected the first year of the sales tax to generate $184 million. Christensen says events like the Republican National Convention and the Harley-Davidson Homecoming Festival brought a large inflow of cash into our local economy.
Got a Wisconsin cheesemaker is planning a big party.
Lake Country Dairy in northwest Wisconsin had quite the week at the U.S. Cheese Championships in Green Bay.
The top cheese in Wisconsin and the top three in the contest is amazing.
Plant manager Gary Gozda.
So we're a hard Italian cheese plant. We pride ourselves in our Parmesan.
Gozda tells Wisconsin's Morning News they'll celebrate with a party for their 140 workers at the plant. The cheese, by the way, can be found at Costco, Woodman's, and restaurants. And Gozda says it's going to be exactly the same.
We don't make contest cheese. We make cheese for our customers.
Eric Bilstead, WTMJ News.
Snow is falling now, but skies will clear up soon. TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson tells us what commuters can expect in the roads later this afternoon.
Yeah.
Brendan, during our last hour of Wisconsin's Midday News, and he told us we can expect warmer temperatures in the next few days. Just how warm are we going to get? Wait until you see this. Your 5-day forecast coming up right here in just minutes.
Sports, traffic, and weather all coming up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 12:34.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
The following takes place in a Capitol heating and cooling truck.
Step on the gas. We need to get to Miss Johnson's house fast.
Roger that, Captain.
We need to get her furnace repaired.
She couldn't believe we do same-day repairs.
Or that Capitol works 7 days a week.
And we'll have her heat back on today.
Same-day repairs?
7 days a week.
Same-day repairs?
7 days a week.
Because it's the right thing to do.
And if you need service right now, get a free heating or plumbing service call with any repair.
Old-fashioned service, you can't go wrong. Call CapitalCares.com.
A Friday Lent fish fry is a family tradition. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Take your family to the amazing Mine Chef restaurant in Hartford today for their all-you-can-eat Lenten fish fry, just $7.99. You don't need to pay $16 or more. Your Mine Chef fish fry is $7.99. It's all you can eat, and it's delicious. Relax with a sweet old-fashioned, a glass of wine, and ice-cold beer. And there's a kids menu that starts at $3.99. Those kids can safely play in the world-class game room quietly set aside from the dining area while you finish up. Wherever you live, it's worth a drive to the Mine Chef today for your Friday all-you-can-eat Lent fish fry, just $7.99. Wow. Desserts are buy one, get one free. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating and close parking. And the Sunday brunch is all you can eat. It's a feast. It's under $15. Make a quick call and reserve your $7.99 fish fry. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from a Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. It's the Brewers and Padres in Cactus League action today. Kind of a rainy day in Arizona, however, just 49 degrees. A tarp was on the field at American Family Fields of Phoenix last I checked. We'll have our next broadcast scheduled for Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Big weekend of college basketball. 20th-ranked Marquette takes on 6th-ranked St. John's. An 11 a.m. tip Saturday from Fiserv Forum. And 12th-ranked Wisconsin takes on Penn State at the Kohl Center Saturday at noon. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited.
Let's get you an update on the roads right now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We are still dealing with this crash in the Milwaukee metro area. I-43 south at Highland Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked due to a crash. It's wet out there, so just prepare yourselves. And I do see a little bit of slowing now, too. Almost, yeah, it goes a little bit past Burleigh, all the way from Burleigh down to just about where this crash is. Once again, I-43 south at Highland Avenue. Right shoulder blocked due to a crash.
Kind of a mix of flurries and a little bit of rain here falling in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're north of, West Bend or so, you're probably not noticing much. Might be a little more slushy closer to the state line. High of 37, overnight low of 24, up to 45 on Saturday. It's 33 in Milwaukee at 12:38.
We have witnessed whiplash when it comes to tariffs. On Tuesday, the Trump administration slapped tariffs on goods from Mexico, Canada, and China. The very next day, Wednesday, President Trump issued a 1-month delay for auto tariffs after a request from the big three U.S. automakers. Then yesterday, he put a 1-month pause on the tariffs for goods from Mexico and Canada. Are you following? It's like, shoo, 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 shoo. But bottom line, no matter what happens in the end, there is some concern and there is definitely uncertainty. Some of those concerned are in the local restaurant industry. The owner of Amalinda in downtown Milwaukee, Chef Gregory Leone, joins us live in the studio today with his concerns. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for the invite.
So you believe this is not just another price increase. You say this is a full-blown crisis. Why?
Well, it's going to affect almost everything that we use in the restaurant, and we're not going to be the ones that are ultimately going to pay for it. It's going to be our customers, and that's going to affect our business. As I said earlier this week, we have a restaurant. We want people to come to the restaurant once, twice a week, maybe every other week. We don't want it to be a special occasion place. But if we have to increase our prices to pass on these tariffs, we are going to become a special occasion place, which means our revenues are going to diminish. And the revenue that's going into the pocket of my servers is going to diminish. And the taxes that we're going to pay to the city are going to diminish, and the state and county.
Yeah, I think whiplash is the right word Jessica used. It was on again, off again, suspended, right? It's kind of hard to follow here. The market certainly have not reacted favorably. Have you noticed from the places you source avocados, limes, and so on, have you noticed a price increase yet?
Not yet, but we did start getting emails from several of our companies that we work with telling us that prices are going to increase. I had somebody ask me, well, why don't you take this opportunity to just get everything local? That would be great. That would be a dream come true if I get everything. But, I'm in a state that has winter. There's only so much you can do with potatoes and beets and onions. And we don't grow coffee here. So there's a lot of things that as much as I would love to be able to get here locally, I just can't.
So what foods are you most concerned about buying if these tariffs do indeed go into effect?
My main concern is vegetables. And that's mostly in the winter. As I said, that's what we get from other countries. Our meat comes from Wisconsin. Our dairy comes from Wisconsin. It's mostly vegetables, which can get pretty expensive. And that's the backbone of any menu.
Can you kind of put this into perspective for people? Can you give us an example of how much something is now and how much it could go up and how quickly?
So I guess what I read is a case of avocados right now is about $75. That's going to go up to at least $90, $95. So again, that is a price increase that I'm going to have to pass on to my customers. So ultimately, the customers and the voters are the ones that are going to end up suffering mostly.
So when do you decide to make that move? When do you decide to print a new menu with a slightly different cost? Do you try and ride out what could be a short-term pain so you don't have to pass it on?
Once we start to see the price increases, then we'll go ahead and change our menu. We might wait a week or two just to see what happens. He might change his mind again and decide that he doesn't want to do this. So we'll probably wait about a week or two. But if it becomes apparent that this is just the way it's going to be, then we're unfortunately going to have to pass it on.
Do you think some restaurants here in Wisconsin will end up closing their doors?
It's a possibility. I mean, it really is because, we're only, 5 years out of the pandemic, and there's still restaurants that are really, still trying to get their stuff together. There's aspects of my business that we're still trying to recuperate. So I fear that there's going to be places that aren't as secure right now, that this is just going to be the nail in the coffin.
Well, and the thing is that the president has said, short-term pain. And I think there are a lot of restaurants out there that will be able to handle that.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, the pandemic, we know that there are restaurants out there that are still struggling. And it's hard. It's hard.
It is a hard business.
It's a
very
hard
hard business. There's also a lot of restaurants. There's about 100,000 restaurants in the country that didn't get any of the restaurant relief fund that was given out in 2021. So, they're already at a disadvantage because they're probably still trying to play catch up.
Well, and you've got a staff to worry about, right? You've got staff that has family, right? There's much more to it than just opening the door.
It's much more than me just having to raise my prices and pay more for my vegetables. And I hope the listener understands. I feel like the consumer kind of has this idea that like all the money that goes into a restaurant goes into my pocket. That's not how it works, unless I don't know if you have multiple restaurants. I'm concerned about my employees because the less people that come in and eat at my restaurant is the less hours I'm going to be able to give my kitchen staff. It's the less tip money my servers are going to be able to make. That then makes it impossible for them to pay their bills and go out shopping and spend money. So it has a big effect, and I wish people could understand that it's just not affecting me. Like, I got to pay more for celery. There's a lot of ramifications with this.
I know you got an email from Testa Produce in regards to the tariffs and everything that's happening. You had posted on social media, so I happened to see that. Is that obviously one of the companies that you buy?
That's one of the companies,
from?
yeah.
So what exactly did that letter say? And is there something about getting a letter like that makes it feel even more real and immediate?
It does. I mean, I appreciate the heads up. And but it was just basically laying out, this is coming down the pipeline. This is what's going to happen. Just be prepared. They also said, we don't want to have to raise our prices or pass this on along to you, but we have no choice.
And that kind of shows you just the ripple effect.
Yeah.
So the produce company, the people you're buying food from are telling you, hey, looks like this is going to happen. We're going to have to raise our prices. You're going to have to pay more. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to have to pay more. I'm going to have to raise my prices. And coming in the door, you're likely going to have to pay more.
And again, it affects the amount of business we're going to end up doing.
Well, $20 on a case of avocados, that's good perspective. It typically, Gregory, do you notice a slight increase in prices? Just cost of doing business year to year from your distributors?
When we get our price lists every week, we take a look at it, scan it to kind of see what's gone in price. Maybe something that's on our menu has now gotten twice as expensive, so we'll take that off and replace it with something else. So we're always keeping an eye on it. And my sales rep for like the meat company, they're very good about like, hey, I know you're using this. Price is about to jump and it's going to be this much. So how about we follow an alternative? So we're always keeping an eye on that.
How do you feel about the whiplash of all this? Because it's like, okay, tariffs are coming. Tariffs are on. Oh, wait, no, they're not. Okay, they're going to be coming. I mean,
it's annoying because we get all worked up about this and they're like, oh, wait, now we've got another 4 weeks. And frankly, it makes it look like they don't know what they're doing. So
is it hard to prepare though, or do you you just prepare like this is coming because he said? I mean, the president has said this is still coming.
Yeah, well, no, we're prepared for it to happen. I just feel like with him changing his mind yesterday, it just means that maybe we've got one more month of like trying to figure out other ways to deal with this where we don't have to pass the price on to the consumer.
A lot of uncertainty with eggs too. Does that hit you? You're not a bakery.
We're not a bakery. We do make our own desserts. We do use eggs, but not like we probably order a case of eggs every 2 weeks. So I have to say it doesn't. I'm not crying about eggs right now. They're expensive. They're way more expensive. If I was a place that was doing breakfast, I would certainly be very upset right now.
Some others crying about eggs right now.
Yeah, right.
So. I'm crying about eggs if I can't find them at Costco anymore, right? Well, thank you so much, Chef Gregory Leone, owner of Amalinda in downtown Milwaukee. We appreciate your perspective.
Yeah, good perspective, Gregory.
Thank you.
It's 12:46 coming up on it here on WTMJ.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. At BBC, we sell all the top brands of lights and ceiling fans, such as Visual Comfort, Tech, Schoenbeck Crystal, and hundreds more. We get every brand, and our prices are the lowest. I guarantee it. In our award-winning showroom, you'll also find factory closeouts with lights and fans priced well below their original cost. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including fun for the kids and our famous free popcorn. We're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's, near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Enjoy the Fox and Hounds restaurant's fabulous all-you-can-eat fish fry. It's It's one of the best. The magnificent Sunday brunch is also all you can eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Call and reserve foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Get eyewear for everything you do at Shopco Optical. Schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam, check out new frame styles, and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Enjoy the time and attention your eyes deserve at Shopco Optical. Receive quality eye care and a personalized vision solution tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Basement. Water leaks. Cracks in the walls. Had them, have them. What do I do? Who can I trust?
I'm here to help. This is your Fix-It host, David Nason, with expert advice for my listeners. There's only one company I trust with basements, and that's my friends at Accurate Basement Repair. That's Accurate Basement Repair. And you know what? You're going to get a free expert evaluation on me. Just tell them David Nason, the Fix-It guy, told me to call. Again, that's Accurate Basement Repair. Check them out at accuratebasementrepair.com.
Now, some stuff falling from the sky. Depending where you are, it's going to look a little different. Actually, north of West Bend, the radar looks pretty clear. South of West Bend, some flurries, maybe some raindrops. Supposed to be a little more slushy closer to the state line. High of 37, low of 24. Up to 45 on Saturday. Looks pretty good. Rest of the weekend looks great. We're hitting in the 50s on Sunday. Monday, we could hit 60. 33 degrees, cloudy, little rainy, little snowy in Milwaukee at 12:49.
It's Friday, which means it's time for Stories of the Strange on Wisconsin's Midday News.
This week, go to Denmark. And this is strange, but I almost feel like I need to put a warning on this, which I've never done for Stories of the Strange. It's also a little sad in my mind. So, did you hear about this? 3 piglets were being allowed to starve as part of a controversial art exhibit in Denmark. This was drawing international attention. And I remember seeing the headline. I'm like, 3 piglets being allowed to starve for art? It made me sad. But people say art can be anything these days. Well, here's the thing. The piglets were stolen. Somebody took the piglets. The artist had been trying to, the point of this was to raise awareness of the suffering caused by mass meat production. So he had this art installation that opened last week in Copenhagen, and the piglets are being denied food and water. And ultimately, you're looking at me like this is crazy. A lot of people would agree. Some people say it's art. Other people, like myself, I thought, I just feel for these piglets. But ultimately, they would have been allowed to starve to death. So somebody jumped in and said, not going to let this happen, and stole the piglets. So now the police are involved, and I guess the artist is also saying, at this point, I kind of thought about it for a few hours and realized, at least this way, the piglets would have a happy life.
Did somebody steal the piglets in order to prevent this from happening, right?
Yeah.
So that it's like a protective sort of thing?
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
I support that.
But where the piglets are now, I don't exactly know.
Anyone's guess, huh?
But I imagine they're getting water and food, and that's good.
I've been a lot of talk about disturbances on airlines lately. There's been some terrible things that have happened in the airline industry, really over the last couple of years. It's just been kind of a one thing after the other. Well, imagine this now. A Southwest flight from Houston to Phoenix.
I know this one, yeah.
Well, didn't make it very far after a female passenger stripped naked and started running through the aisles screaming.
And there's video.
And there is video, which we are not going to put up on our live stream.
It's
because
blurred.
of FCC regulations.
It's blurred.
Passengers on that flight to Phoenix faced an unexpected delay. Video taken, this happened on Monday, but one of the passengers showed the incident unfold, and the flight was packed. Not a seat available. It was very uncomfortable and very scary, said one passenger who asked to remain anonymous. This Southwest flight never made it off the ground to Phoenix, at least not at the time. Went back to the gate. Two passengers who live in Phoenix and were on the plane when the incident happened told a local news station the aircraft had just started taxiing when the woman, who was fully clothed, walked to the front of the plane and started yelling. That same woman then took her clothes off and ran up and down the aisles screaming.
Yeah.
The plane continued to move, ultimately went back to the gate. The lady was removed. There was a mental issue here.
Yeah, it's probably some mental health issues there.
Labeled as bipolar by some. Flight attendant was trying to, cover her in more ways than one. The aircraft
I didn't see
returned
that.
safely to the
I
gate.
assume somebody did, but the video I saw, everybody was just like sitting in their seats.
Well,
Okay.
they were able to get a blanket on her, and the video then shows the woman running through the open door, and she got off the plane. The plane was eventually able to take off.
Some people worry about the shorts that are too short.
Stories of the strange, to be sure. We'll wrap up the program with some final thoughts after this on WTMJ.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
So Sidney Moncrief, Bucks legend, joins us in studio. How did your NBA career prepare you for the boardrooms that you're in each and every day?
It doesn't.
Wow, all right.
I wanted to take the concept of entrepreneurship and put it with a different lens, the lens of literacy. We need to understand these principles of literacy.
Weekdays from 10 to 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Hey, boaters! Inexperienced boaters are more than welcome here, because at Kendor Marine you'll find all the answers to your questions on parts, installation, troubleshooting, and the best part is, when we figure out what you need, we can grab it from our massive inventory of boat parts and supplies that no one around can match. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Where else are you going to find weather stripping for a 77 Carver? That's what he said, and I don't know the answer to that one, but he sure was glad he found it here. I'm Dave Doro with Kendor Marine, and when it comes to boat parts and supplies, we have it all. If you're a boater and you need it, we got it. And that's why you got to get here. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Namaste.
Dan, what are you doing?
Shh, you're harshing my mellow. Join me in some breathing exercises to chase away the chaos.
Let's focus on our clients, since we offer an exceptional way to control the chaos.
Inspired Closets can more than double your closet storage space.
And we don't over-design projects, sending you 3 beautiful designs to fit your price point.
Plus, our true lifetime warranty makes it a no-brainer.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
One more time.
Hey, make sure to subscribe to the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast. It's built by Siding Unlimited. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find Wisconsin's Midday News. Also, check out our live stream. You can watch us. I got cameras all over the studios. You can see what radio looks like. It's not just radio anymore. When I entered the business, it was just radio, and now it's everything.
Oh, no.
It's everything.
In fact, the head of our company would tell you, you don't even need to say radio, because we're not just radio. We're just about everything.
No, that is a very good point. We'll make it easy for you here. Just text the word midday to the talk and text line. That's 855-616-1620. Text the word midday to 855-616-1620. We'll get you all that information back to your mobile device. And we've got an interesting weather pattern developing here. We'll follow it throughout the day and, of course, into the weekend. But nice warm-up scheduled. You might even hit 60 early next week. But the sun is coming out. Whatever falls today should eventually go away. I thought it was going to be more of a snow thing a couple of days ago. And it really didn't amount to much. We had just a trace in our yard in Menominee Falls.
A little light snow still falling right now. A little snow, little flurries, but it's wet out there.
We'll have Brewers baseball on the air for you tomorrow. That'll be an afternoon game. Not sure if they're going to play today. It's kind of a nasty day in the greater Phoenix area. We did not have a broadcast scheduled for today, so no need to be worried about that. But 49 degrees, cloudy, kind of rainy in Phoenix. Doesn't scream spring training baseball for those who are out there for it. But there will be baseball back on the air tomorrow. 2 o'clock, the broadcast time here on WTMJ. News coming up in a couple of minutes. We're back again on Monday.
Adamas aboard at first. This one hit in the air. Left and deep. Get up. Get out of here. Gone. Reese Hoskins has just hit one with the bases loaded. Whoa. That didn't take long at all.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255366.